professional.
I had the same problem that Emma's talking about with Zoe sort of coming in the middle of a conversation. I did tell her a couple of times that.
I don't remember doing that, but I think if I did interject, it was in response to someone asking a question that they weren't able to answer.
Seems like you're a bit of a lone soldier sometimes, no?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I would say that. And when Zoe talks about the sales that we've made during the day, it's very much, well, these are what I've sold and these are what you've sold. But I think especially with this sort of sale, if it's a team effort, no one's got a specific sales set or the teams.
OK. Well, look, let's get down to the nitty-gritty now. Let me know how Revolution did and how much money they took.
Revolution sold 12 pieces of art.
Right.
For a total of £6,005.
Really? That's not bad, is it? Nick, Instinct.
Instinct sold 5 pieces, taking £2,247.30.
Wow. What a surprise. You sound so highly organised. Well, Revolution, there you are. £6,000 is fantastic, really, for 3 young people like yourself. Excellent. Now, your treat is to meet with the tailor, Timothy Everest. He's made clothes for people like the Rolling Stones and Tom Cruise, and the clothing used in a lot of films. Now, he's going to be bespoking an outfit for each of you. So, very well done, and I'll see you on the next task.
Yes! Oh, sorry.
Well, you know the drill, folks. You're going to go away and have a chat, come back here, and we'll find out which one of you is going to be leaving today. Off you go. Well, it's an amazing amount of money, isn't it? £6,000. I mean, considering they're youngsters, it's fantastic.
I mean, Arjun sold 1 piece for £2,850.
Really?
I was so impressed with all of them.
Hello, I'm Tim. How are you? Come on, Emma, come on in. For you, Zoe, just a nice little black number. Arjan, we've got skinny petrol blue number. Emma, hot pink, I hope you like it.
Hi, Emma.
Hey. Should we pick out the stitching with a little bit of cobalt blue?
Yeah,
like
I think so.
If we just move the button across a little bit, it'll look quite cool.
I think that Zoe was a bit upset with some of the comments which were said in the boardroom, but at the end of the day, everything which was said was actually true.
So we could do like a brick stitch through here if you wanted to actually add a little bit of detail.
I think we're friends now, but I'm perfectly honest. I still see Zoe in the same way I've seen her all the time, and I don't see her as major competition for me.
Where do you think the other two went right and we went wrong?
I mean, ultimately we didn't sell enough art.
Yeah,
that's why we lost.
Yeah.
But, you know, this doesn't seem like a reason because we did everything right. So it's just, I don't know.
The main reason why we might have lost this task is because of Kirsty. Like, I saw her walking around yawning or just, like, wandering aimlessly about, and I think she could have put that energy into selling.
There's the whole thing about losing Tom, but we made $2,000 from not choosing Tom.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, what do we feel about our decision to choose Sarah?
I think that we just didn't get enough potential buyers in. We're just unlucky that that one person didn't walk in and spend a few grand.
I mean, I asked to be project manager, now I've lost as project manager, and if Lord Sugar asked me who was going to be fired, I couldn't possibly tell him.
Well, Tim, have you reflected on why your sales were so low?
Yeah, I mean, basically the reason why we lost the task is because the right people didn't come through the door.
And why couldn't you have remedied that?
There was a river of young, trendy people right down Brick Lane, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of business to be had there.
The thing is, you haven't analysed where the flaw is, really. The other team won because of their 12 pieces they sold. 11 were by Tom Lewis. So the loss of Tom was the loss of your task.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the feedback from Tom was that he actually thought that Brick Lane was the place for him.
And we thought it was as well.
Yeah, that's why we
So
chose
tell me,
it.
what allowed you to go off and let Kirsty deal with these people?
So, I mean, you know, I had trust in Kirsty to do a really good job.
She didn't do a good job. You see, Kirsty, here's some feedback. You didn't look at the products, you didn't look at him, and you were very, very focused on price and money. You went in there a bit like a bull in a... Well, in this case, it was a bull in a paint shop.
I was there. I think if you spent 15 seconds looking at the work, I'd be surprised.
I mean, I tried my best, but it's an environment where I'm totally not used to.
Why did you think that Kirsty was strong enough to go out on her own? Why did you have Hannah tagging
I
with
think
you?
it was my suggestion to actually say I think Kirsty should go on her own. I think Kirsty is probably a bit stronger on her own than me.
What would you say, Hannah, if I said that you seem to be more comfortable if you've got, say, Big Tim with you? You always seem to be hanging on to Tim's coattails, following him around in some form of security.
I don't agree with that at all, just because I wasn't used to the art, so I wasn't confident. But as soon as we got into the swing of things, I stepped it up, and the next day I went off and did the flyers on my own, and then I came back and then I sold, and I was hardly with Tim for the whole event.
When you was out and about with Tim, I think, Tim, you referred to Hannah as your secretary, really.
Yeah.
I mean, was you actually asking any questions of the artist or just
Yes,
writing
I
down
was.
notes of what he was saying?
No, my role was to write down notes, but I wanted to contribute, say what I felt about the paintings, and I asked different questions.
Things that intimidate you are failure in anything. Your own words.
Yep.
Well, it might be a bit more intimidating shortly when I have to make that decision as to why people are staying here or going. I mean, facts that are in front of me here are that Tom Lewis's stuff, you lost it.
Yeah.
Tom wanted his stuff, would have preferred to have it sold in Brick Lane. Even worse, it's like rubbing salt into the wound. And you, as the team leader, allowed that to happen underneath you. So this is looking like a major catastrophe.
Yeah, that is a massive issue, and I'm really sorry for that.
Well, you might be.
I mean, I told Tim I'm not an overly schmoozy person, and he said, did you schmooze him? I said, a little bit, but that's just not my style.
And then you said yes.
I said a little bit.
Yeah.
Was my exact words. I said a little bit.
Well, here it is then, Kirsty. If I had to point blank say to you, who do you think is responsible for the failure of this task? Who should be going home today?
Possibly Hannah.
Possibly.
Well, my opinion is that I didn't just follow them around. When it actually came to sales, I did see Kirsty, I saw her yawning for quite a lot of the time. Sometimes she was just wandering, and I think, as she said, sales is her thing, I thought she would have put more of an effort into it.
I mean, I sold exactly the same as you.
Yeah, I know, but you said sales was your thing, and I've never really sold something before.
I would say, but
it wasn't my comfort zone, but I still had to push it.
Zone.
And I think overall, Tom not getting his was the reason why, and I think Kirsty could have schmoozed more and over.
I was on my own, to be fair. It was a lot harder for me. You know, it takes a bit of guts to go out on your own into a field that you don't have a clue about, and I tried my best. You guys had both of you guys, so it was a bit easier for you.
Well, look, I've listened to all of your tales of woe, and listening to you, I feel like Van Gogh. I want to cut my ear off, actually. I need a bit of time to talk to Karen and Nick, so perhaps you'd be kind enough to step out there, and I'll call you back in shortly.
Tim's looking really rather pleased with himself, standing high and proud there.
He does seem to have this way of trying to be seen not to be culpable for anything. Send the three of them in, please.
Lord Sugar will see you now.